Welcome back, Deep Divers. Today, we're diving into something a little different, something a little, well, spooky.
Spooky and romantic.
Okay, yeah, spooky and romantic. I like that.
Yeah.
We're taking a deep dive into Forever Bound.
By Karpov, Kinrade.
Exactly. But just the first 8 chapters for now.
A good place to start.
It is. So this is, it's paranormal romance.
With a twist.
With a twist. And that twist is...
Ukrainian folklore.
Yes. Vampires meet Slavic mythology. It's a pretty wild ride, and
really well written, I have to say.
oh yeah, Kinrade knows how to weave a story. So listeners, buckle up because we're about to meet Evangeline Angel Love. She's our heroine.
An American grad student who finds herself in a rather unexpected situation.
To say the least. I mean, plane crashes are bad enough, but imagine surviving one only to end up
Tied to a tree in the middle of the Ukrainian wilderness.
about to be a human sacrifice. Seriously, can you imagine the fear? The confusion? You wake up, you're surrounded by people you don't understand, chanting, dancing, dressed in, like, traditional clothing.
It sets the scene beautifully, though. All those details, the ritual, the sense of ancient tradition.
And looming over it all, Ivan. This imposing figure, speaking mostly Russian, who Angel can't understand. He seems to be everything the villagers fear, the god of the forest.
A vampire.
Bam! Twist number 1, Ivan is a vampire.
But not the monster you might expect.
Right. Instead of draining Angel dry, he heals her.
With his own blood.
Which, in most vampire stories, means...
Instant transformation. You drink vampire blood, you become a vampire.
But not here. This is where Kinrade really flips the script. Drinking Ivan's blood doesn't turn Angel into a vampire, at least not right away.
It creates a bond.
A powerful bond. And this isn't just like, oh, I'm drawn to you now.
It's deeper than that, a real connection, almost telepathic.
Which, okay, that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
But before we get there, we need to talk about the setting. I mean, this isn't some dark, creepy, cobweb-filled cave we're talking about.
Ivan's home is incredible.
It's like an underground palace. Beautifully crafted, carvings everywhere, even a library. And Angel finds books in English. Clearly, this so-called monster.
Has a taste for literature.
And maybe a bit more going on than meets the eye. But just as we're starting to feel comfortable with this new perspective, Angel finds something that reminds us just how dangerous this world really is.
The aftermath of an attack.
And it's gruesome. Blood, carnage, internal organs, you name it. Not exactly your typical romance novel scene, but it definitely keeps you on the edge of your seat. And it brings us to Angel's big dilemma. Who does she trust?
The vampire who saved her life?
But who everyone fears.
Or the terrified villagers who might be completely wrong about Ivan?
Exactly. Talk about a tough choice. And this is where Koschei comes in. Ivan reveals that Koschei, the real villain of our story, was once his apprentice.
Corrupted by power, obsessed with immortality.
And now he's this terrifying force, constantly reborn, seeking revenge against the village. And here's where the Ukrainian folklore comes in.
Koschei is based on a figure from Slavic mythology, Koschei the Deathless. His soul is hidden away, protected by all these magical safeguards.
He's basically a walking, talking curse. And Ivan is trapped in this endless cycle of battling him each night, knowing Koschei will just rise again. But there's something else, something that makes this even worse.
Koschei can now attack during the day?
Which he couldn't do before. Something has changed. The balance of power has shifted. And Angel, being the strong, independent woman she is, she's not just going to sit around and wait.
She decides to help Ivan.
To protect the village. Pretty brave, considering. But just when she thinks she's starting to figure things out.
Twist number 2.
The village elder, Boris, who seemed like a good guy, turns out to be not so trustworthy after all.
And Vara, the one who seemed sympathetic to Angel, well, she's got her own plans.
Driven by a deep hatred for Ivan. She's manipulating Koschei, using her knowledge of the egg that holds his soul to control him. Her goal. To destroy both Koschei and Ivan, no matter the cost. And she's even willing to poison Angel to do it.
Talk about complicated.
Yeah, it gets pretty intense. All this leads up to an epic showdown. Angel tries to destroy the egg. Koschei's on the rampage. Ivan's fighting for his life. And, well...
Angel gets caught in the crossfire.
Badly wounded. And to save her, Ivan makes the ultimate choice.
He turns her into a vampire.
And that's where these first 8 chapters leave us. 2 vampires bound together for eternity, and a village finally free from its ancient tormentor. But the story doesn't end there, not even close.
It's interesting, you know, how the big battle against Koschei, it's almost like a reflection of Angel's own internal struggles.
Oh, absolutely. She's carrying so much guilt, the weight of her family's death.
Convinced she's a monster herself.
Yeah, it's a wound that runs deep.
And Ivan sees that. He recognizes the pain she's hiding.
He doesn't dismiss it.
No, not at all. He helps her see that she doesn't have to be defined by her past, by her guilt.
And that scene with the vodka.
Oh, so powerful.
Homemade vodka, loosening tongues, and secrets spilling out.
Not just the alcohol, though. It's the trust they're building.
Ivan opens up about his past, about creating Koshchei, the burden he's carried for centuries.
And Angel, finally, she shares her story, the truth about her family.
It's raw, it's vulnerable. They're both laying themselves bare.
And then, boom, another twist.
Angel is Ivan's destined mate.
Not just a chance meeting, it's fate. Their lives are literally intertwined now.
And their bond, it does something incredible. It revives Ivan's heart.
Literally. After all these years, his heart starts beating again.
It's like their connection is breathing life back into him.
Both literally and figuratively, I'd say.
And remember how surprised Angel was when she heard Ivan speak perfect English?
After she healed him, yeah.
It's like their minds are merging.
Sharing thoughts, emotions, even memories.
Is it telepathy? Or just a really, really deep understanding?
Hard to say, but it's definitely powerful.
And then there's that scene in Ivan's art studio. Angel sees his self-portrait. He's depicted as this monstrous figure.
Battling Koshchei.
It's heartbreaking. All those years of fighting, of protecting the very people who fear him.
In Angel, she sees that vulnerability. She could run, go back to her life, but she doesn't.
She chooses to stay.
To fight alongside him.
And their first intimate encounter, it's about so much more than just physical attraction.
It's trust, acceptance, they're seeing each other, flaws and all.
And Ivan, in that deep accented voice, he tells her, "Ya yubliu tebia," chills every time.
A declaration of love. A promise.
But, of course, it can't be that easy.
No, because Vara, remember her,
She's convinced that Ivan is the real villain.
and she's been controlling Koshchei all along.
She found the egg with his soul. All those attacks, she orchestrated them.
Trying to destroy both Koshchei and Ivan.
Talk about a betrayal. Angel's poisoned, time's running out. She has to stop this final confrontation.
And the fight is brutal.
Ivan's badly injured. Koshchei's relentless. And Angel, in a moment of desperation, she throws the egg to Ivan.
Knowing he's the only one who can destroy it.
And he does.
Yeah.
He crushes the soul. The village is free.
But at a cost.
Angel's fatally wounded.
And to save her, Ivan turns her into a vampire.
It's bittersweet. They're together, but now they're both creatures of the night. What will their future hold?
Well, that's where the epilogue comes in. And let me tell you, it's quite the epilogue.
It's a vampire wedding. Angel and Ivan tying the knot, but it's more than just a celebration, isn't it?
Oh, way more. This epilogue, it shows us their future. They're not just living happily ever after, they're leading the village, rebuilding after centuries of, well, fear and darkness.
It's amazing how the villagers who were so afraid of Ivan, now they accept him, they see him as a protector, and Angel, now a vampire herself, she's like this bridge between the two worlds.
The human and the supernatural. She gets people, you know. And Ivan, he's got this ancient wisdom, this deep connection to the land. Together, they bring something unique to the village.
A blend of old and new. It's like their love story. It's not just about them. It's about the whole community healing moving forward.
Breaking free from that cycle of fear and prejudice. They've been trapped for generations, but now, with Angel and Ivan, they're learning to see things differently.
And that final scene with the celebration, everyone dancing, it's so hopeful. They've faced their demons, they've embraced the unexpected, and they've built a future together.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Could finding your soulmate, that one person who truly sees you, could that be the key to overcoming anything? Even the most ancient curses, the deepest fears.
It's a powerful thought, and I think it's at the heart of Forever Bound. It's a story about love, about acceptance, about the power of human connection to heal and transform. And on that note, deep divers, we'll leave you with that final question. Could finding your soulmate be the key to breaking even the most ancient curses? Keep exploring, stay curious, and until our next deep dive, remember, sometimes the most unexpected journeys lead to the most extraordinary destinations.